After modding a whole bunch of different even layer big cubes ranging from the Meilong 6x6, Shadow V3, and Tiansheng Galaxy 8x8, I finally did it to the highest profile one of them all, the Aoshi WRM. So what happened to my Aoshi WRM is that in 2022, when I first bought this cube, I did a core corner magnetization mod, and my objective then was quite simple. Make sure the core magnets were low enough such that they don't touch the torpedoes from the bottom. Make sure the corner magnets were high enough such that they don't touch the torpedoes from the top. However, with my Meilong 6x6 and 7x7, which I got later, I made a new strategy to corner magnetize the cube, and that was elevate the corner magnet on a pedestal, design a very small core, and cut the torpedoes slightly shorter. This way, this magnet and that other magnet are physically closer to each other. The entire pair of attracted magnets is also closer to the center of rotation, which gives stronger attraction as well as a larger angle of attraction for the same distance of separation between the two magnets. Therefore, you can feel the ball core from a larger distance with more power. However, after watching this video from Ethan Cho, I wanted to go back and reinvestigate my Aoshi WRM. That was when I realized it was actually core magnetized with the old method rather than my new method. So what I did was I pretty much did the similar things to what he did in that video. I stacked a second magnet here to descend it a little bit lower, and to avoid clashing with the torpedoes, I also cut the torpedoes slightly shorter. In addition to that, since I was already doing the 9-hole mod to every cube, I also felt that at that point in time, just nice, the Aoshi itself had, like, the middle layers were a bit more stiff than the outer layers. So I felt that it was actually the perfect cube to do the 9-hole mod on, and true enough, yeah, I really sped up the middle layers a lot, and it overall reduced the contact, and it also made the corner cutting more effortless. I'm not too sure if it actually increases the angle, but as long as your corner cut smaller than the holes, the corner cutting actually feels very effortless. The 9-hole mod is something that I've been doing since the Yixing Red 6x6, so this cube actually came out in, I think, late 2015, although it was 2016 when I performed this mod on the cube. And actually, even earlier than that, I actually had this notebook where I was really drawing pictures of 9-hole 6x6s and 5x5s where the outer layer is 1/4 the size of the cube. That notebook was actually done in 2016. Those sketches have become reality.
Well, my friend, if you think this video is over, then think again, because we have a plot twist.
So, at the competition itself, I actually bought a handful of other cubes, like second-hand from other friends. One of them was the Chi Warrior, which I'm not too sure if I'm going to make the video or release the video before or after this one. That really depends on how fast I finish setting up that cube. But for now, like, this one is actually chronologically happening first. Actual cube I got was a second Aoshi WRM, but this one is UV coated. The previous person who got this cube actually got it from PyCube. I'm not here to review the store, I'm mostly here to get a UV Aoshi. Completely blank, no loop, no other mods done, so it's the perfect opportunity to restart all the mods that I did to the Aoshi. And therefore, it's the perfect opportunity to mod in the strongest ball core that I could mod with my current knowledge. So starting out the core, instead of using the usual 3mm diameter magnets, I actually use a 4mm diameter magnet, and I also designed a really small core. Yeah, I'm just going to compare with the core of my Warrior. Yeah, it's more or less this size, except that I made the hole bigger to put a bigger magnet in. It's a similar core structure, I just don't want to disassemble this cube too much. And of course, on the opposite end, the corner, I did it the exact same way as how I modded my Meilong 6 and 7. I actually designed this piece as like a pedestal that points upwards, and then the pedestal itself has a 3mm type. I put a drop of super glue on top of the pedestal, then I aligned the magnet exactly. Overall, the final result was, initially when I first did the mod, the ball core was really strong, and like, it reminded me a lot of the Hong, but after playing with the cube for a while and spreading in the loop, which the lubricants I use are, for the rings of the alignment mechanism I use Kelvin's high viscosity, and for the actual pieces themselves I use Angstrom Dignitas and maybe a bit of Lubrical Speedy. And also between the second and third layer, I put a little bit of Gravitas to slow it down just a bit, so that my outer layer is the fastest and the remaining two ones will feel more similar. So after that setup, some breaking in, it actually kind of reminded me of the Thai and Nerza, except that it could reverse corner cut like this much instead of like 1/3 of a piece like the Nerza did. It had that very light feeling that was very fast, and it's also quite a nice feel. I think that, and the UV coat also psychologically, even though it's the same mechanism as my other Aoshi on the inside, like the UV coat physically on the outside, combined with the super strong ballcore, gave it quite a different experience turning it, and I actually do like this one a lot as well. It's faster than my first Aoshi, but I think overall compared with my Meilong, I would say the Meilong is still the fastest one of the three, but that's only on the outer layers. I would say the second and the third layers of this are just tiny bit slower than the outer, whereas the Meilong, I would say the second and third here the difference is bigger compared to the outers, but if you compare this second and third layer to this second and third layer, it's pretty comparable. It's just that this one has a faster outer than this one. But overall, I think it's a pretty nice option. Now I got 3 decently usable 6x6s that I can cycle around with.
I don't even know